Okay, similar figures have these two things. Their corresponding angles are congruent, exactly the same. Their corresponding sides are proportional. That means they have the same ratio, or they reduce down to the exact same ratio. This right here, I'm going to highlight it in red, is your similarity statement. This tells you corresponding order. Okay, this tells you that B corresponds with M. They're both in the first spot. So here's B and here's M. Those are corresponding. Okay. I corresponds with O. They're both in the second spot. So this angle I corresponds with this angle O. Corresponding angles are exactly the same. So if this is 130, that means this W is 130. Okay, so this is 130, which we would put right here for W, 130 degrees. Okay, and then finally that last spot in each one, G corresponds with P. So G is 27. That means that P is also 27. Corresponding angles are the same. So this angle here is 27. Now, the other angle that you're missing right here, of course, is angle X right here. Okay, angle X, X degrees, that's M. M is the first spot here, so that corresponds with B. We know that these two are the same. I can find this angle because 3 angles in a triangle add up to 180. So to get angle B right here, I can take 180 minus 130 minus 27, which is 23 degrees. So this is 23 degrees. B, first spot, corresponds with M. M is right here, so M, angle X, X degrees is 23 degrees right here. Okay. Okay, that is how you find corresponding angles right here. Now we're going to talk about corresponding sides. Corresponding sides have the same ratio. So the first thing we have to do is find a pair of corresponding sides that are both given. So I'm going to go up here and I'm going to focus on either 60 or 54. I'm just going to start with 60. All right, so I'm going to highlight that in blue. 60 degrees. This side length right here is between the B and the G. All right, if we look at our similarity statement, B is the first letter and G is the third. So BG would correspond with M and P. The first and third here and the first and third here. So B to G corresponds with M to P. Right here, I'm going to highlight this in blue. So that is a pair of corresponding sides that are both given, 90 over 60. So there's my first ratio, 90 over 60. Now I did the big triangle. This here is the big triangle. So I have the big triangle on top, and then I put the little triangle, the 60, on the bottom. Okay, that's important that each ratio in your proportion has to be the same. I'm going big over little, so that means here I have to go big over little. I can't flip-flop. Okay, so that's our first step. Find a pair of corresponding sides that are both given. That is called the ratio of similarity. Sometimes it's called the zoom factor. Sometimes it's called the scale factor. They mean the same thing. It is always the first ratio in your proportion. Similar figures are proportional, so you will always set up a proportion to solve it. Okay, now we look for the variable. Let's start with V. V is right here. All right, I'm going to use green now. V is between the B and the I. So the B and the I are the first two. So they correspond over here with the first two, M and O. So over here on the big triangle, M to O is right here. I'm going to highlight that in green. So there's another pair of corresponding sides. V, this side, corresponds with 51. Now I'm going big to small. So that means 51 has to be on the top, and V has to be on the bottom. Now I'm ready to cross multiply to solve for this side length. Okay? The next side length that we have to find is Y. So let's go up here and find Y. Let's see, what color can I use now? I'm going to use, let's see, how about purple? Okay, here we go. Y is right here between the P and the O. All right, so the P and the O is right here. It's the last two letters. So over here on the left, the last two letters are I and G. So let's find I and G. Again, P and O corresponds with I and G. So there's a pair of corresponding sides right there. Okay, so to set up my proportion, I can bring down this same first ratio, because that's my ratio of similarity. That was my pair of corresponding sides that were both given. So I can do 90 over 60. Okay, the first ratio, they're both given. A pair of corresponding sides, both given. 90 over 60. Now, to find Y, Y is on the big triangle. So since I'm going big over little, that means that the Y now has to be on top. Y corresponds with 54, big over little. And there is your proportion to find Y. So now you can cross multiply and solve for those. Please let me know if this makes sense, if you can understand it. Thanks.